Hi there, welcome back. Or if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. When I started this channel about a year and a half ago, it was basically to keep myself amused and play around while I looked for a new job. Well, it's been a year and a half later, and just now today got a job offer. So there's one big change, thankfully. The second is the type of videos that I'm going to be making. And that's the biggest thing. Right now I'm on location, not at my place. I'm at my mom and my brother's house, and it needs a lot of work. Now, they bought this place about 30 years ago, and it was a wreck. But they took it, they patched it up. Well, I helped. We redid the roof, we rebuilt the deck in the back. They had bought this place together along with my Uncle Charlie, who's since passed away. My mom's in her late 80s now, so she's a lot less mobile, so she can't keep up. She can't do all the gardening and stuff that she loved to do. And my brother also has some health issues that affect how much work he can get done. I have been struggling to figure out how to help them, apart from, whenever I can come over and do some stuff. Well, at the same time, my daughter got married, and she was talking about, oh, we want to buy a place. We want a place big enough property that we can grow our own vegetables and have some chickens like Uncle Mark does. And I don't know why it took me so long to figure it out. It's like, if we could figure out a way that they could buy this place, that way they can have the kind of house and yard that they want. And then my mom and brother don't have to worry about finding a new place or having to sell or anything. So I finally realized, like, oh, they could do some kind of a rent to own or seller finance mortgage or something. So we're going to be looking into that too. But the main focus that we're going to be doing here is fixing this place up. Like I said, when they first bought it, it had a lot of issues. A lot of tall trees that were dropping dead branches all over the place that they had to have taken out. And there was a huge, gross dog run that they tore out, fixed up. They turned their house into a show place. And whenever there was any kind of a gathering, get together, my brother would throw a 4th of July party, and there'd be dozens of people here. Used to be able to do fireworks. But what with everybody aging out, my Uncle Charlie passing away, it's gotten to be more work than they're able to keep up with. So now what we're doing is fixing a lot of the things, or trying to fix a lot of the things that have gotten neglected just because of circumstances. We live in the Pacific Northwest, which is beautiful. And the reason why, or one of the reasons why it's so beautiful, is because it rains a lot. So with the rain, you get growth. So we got a lot of really nice trees and stuff came up. Unfortunately, they did so well that they did too well. And I'll be showing some evidence of that. So we've got some trees that got to come out. Again, Pacific Northwest, we got moss growing all over the place. I'll show you that on the roof we're going to have to take care of. And just a lot of overgrowth that unfortunately has gone by the wayside. We'll take care of all that. And so that's the big news for the channel is I'm going to be documenting how we're going to revitalize this yard, how we're going to clean it up, how to make it a little easier to maintain, because right now there's just way too much going on. We got to cut back a lot of stuff. Like I said, the trees have really grown too well. They're threatening the roof. They're threatening the structure of some other stuff we have in the back. And we need to, there's a chicken run in the back that we got to deal with as well. So our goals for this year, right now it's early May 2025. We got to take out some trees. We got to clean up the roof. Actually, there's a couple of sheds in the back. We got to clean the roofs for those too. And we've got to fix the chicken run and the chicken hutch itself. they need a lot of work. But this is going to be a long-term project for us, because right now it's just us. And yeah, let's take a tour now. We're going to see what needs to be fixed, what we've done so far, which is not much yet. But the weather's finally gotten good enough where we can get out and do this instead of slogging around in the mud. So let's take a walk and see what we're looking at, and we'll talk about what needs to be done. All right, so this is the carport, and under here, as you can see with the window and all the junk in front of it, this is my mom's workshop that we built under the carport, because what was under here was a rickety mess. And here's proof that I can build a gate. This one's in beautiful shape, but also because it's out of the weather. So there's the door to the workshop and garden tools and stuff under there. And then you can see all this vine that's grown up here that we have to eliminate. And here's the barn. And this is where storage and gardening tools, and if you can see how much overgrowth this place has. Like I say, the Pacific Northwest is great to keep everything growing and green, but if you're not able to keep up with it, it will get out of hand. Now, like I say, we rebuilt this roof about 30 years ago, and the shingles are still in pretty good shape, but as you can see, there's just a ton of moss growing on it. Now, the tree that we took out in front was a lot bigger than this one that I'm walking over to, but there's enough of it over the roof that it's making it worse there, and the longer we leave it, the worse it'll get. So unfortunately, this tree is going to have to come out. It's just too close to the house. Now, as we go around, you can see my mom's cottage, and we'll get back to that, but you can see just how overgrown everything is, and the roof on that is also in pretty rough shape. So here's the other side of the house. Now, that dish can come down. I don't have any kind of a subscription to anything that we need that for, so we can get rid of that. But for the most part, over on this side, aside from the fence, which I showed you earlier, just need a lot of attention, a lot of TLC to get this place trimmed up. Now again, as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 maple trees growing over my mom's cottage. Now we had this, we just had the company come in and install this shed. We electrified it. At one point it also had its own satellite dish. And this is where my mom would come to do all her sewing and all her craft work. But again, with her age and mobility issues, she doesn't get out here as often as she likes to. But she still has a nice place to sit when she wants to be in the shade and have a cigarette. So yeah, look at just all this moss. This whole yard used to be a pleasure garden, but they just haven't been able to keep up with it. So we're going to try to fix all that. But yeah, the roof's in good shape, but we do need to get rid of all that moss. And like I said, unfortunately, that means these trees have got to come out. Now, my brother, before he got stopped in his tracks by his health issues, he built these big planting beds. There's a couple more back there. And I helped him put up this greenhouse, which I don't know if you can see from here, but it's got some chilies growing in there. And then on the other side of that, of course, there's the chicken coop and the chicken run, which we have to fix. And behind the windmill, that is where my brother turned an old swing set that his daughter quit using into 3 compost bins. So trying to be all green and environmental friendly. And the chicken coop itself, it was a kit that we put together. It's got a nice good solid foundation that we built, but the run itself, or the coop itself, is just a pretty flimsy kit. So we're gonna have to rebuild that. And that's hopefully on the agenda for this year. At the very least, replacing all this netting with something a little more substantial to keep the chickens in and hopefully to keep the vermin out. Now, these trees right here, these Japanese maples, fortunately we get to keep these because they are not over the chicken coop. So as long as we keep them trimmed back, we should be okay. But this tree and the one back there are growing over, and that's part of why, you know, that now has a tarp on it. Just because, again, leaves collect moss, collect more leaves, and the roof is in pretty rough shape. So we're eventually going to be replacing that whole thing. Now there, back there, is what used to be a pond with a waterfall, clogged up, too many trees. I don't know if we're ever going to do anything with this besides just clean it up, but I guess if they want to get it running again, they can, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then another couple of trees that have to come out are back here. And if you can see that tarp, there's another shed back in this back corner that is under these 2 trees, this one here and that one there. Those will also have to come out, especially this one, because during a storm, I don't know if it was wind or snow, but half the tree broke away. We'll go on this other side and take a look. So you can see where it just fell apart. So yeah, this tree is fairly large. I think it's even bigger than the one that was out front, or at least taller. The other one was spread out pretty wide. But yeah, all they are, I don't know if you can see up there, the part of the roof that is just kind of an awning off the side of the shed, but it has fallen through, and that's got to come out. Some really pretty stuff, you know. It's been unfortunate to see how they were unable to keep up with this, or have somebody come out and take care of it. Right over here, just a big debris pile. This will all have to be cleared out. Big planting bed under this tree that my daughter is excited to get started on this. And more power to her. So here's the other side of this barn. And you can see there's moss on top of there, but the tree, since it's not like directly on top, isn't causing as much damage, but there's still moss growing up there that we've got to take care of. So here is our big project. I think a lot of the problem, aside from just everything being overgrown, is there's just too much going on, and we gotta whittle it down and make it more manageable. So yeah, look at all this we got to clean up. Now, like I said, we would have 4th of July parties here, but yeah, there's just it's too much of a mess that we got to clean up. So at least for this summer, unfortunately, the 4th of July party is canceled. We'll get back to it though. yeah, just tons of planters. There's another spot my brother had like corn and melons, and I think he had some cucumbers or squash or something growing out here. Definitely a bunch of tomatoes and beans. And yeah, my daughter's super excited to be able to get into that stuff. But first things first, we got a big mess to clean up. So yeah, see there's the big grill for when we'd have our 4th of July shindigs here. And something else my brother likes to do, and he's got 2 of them, is he likes to make briskets for people. He just tell people, go buy a brisket, bring it over, I'll smoke it up for you. So he had so many people wanting that, he actually bought himself another one. Any time that I have, I'm going to try to be up here working on this house and this yard to address a lot of the issues that they haven't been able to deal with for a long time. And if everything works out, hopefully, um, the house will be brought up to a state that everybody's happy with again. Um, everybody will be in a better financial situation, a better living situation than they were before. And with any luck, and I'm not counting on it, but that's what people want to do on YouTube. Hopefully, get some supplemental income to help pay for all the things that need to be done here. Right now, we've got the equipment and we've got the incentive, and pretty much we're just waiting for good weather and an open time that we can actually do this stuff. So hopefully, you'll all come along with us and see what we go through while we fix this place up, get it back to being presentable and usable as a fun space again, instead of an overgrown burden.